I got stuck behind the devil in the post office the other day. Yeah, they say the devil takes many forms, and he fills them all in as well. Hello everybody, and welcome to this video. And as you will have seen by the title, I'm making quite a bold statement today, and that statement is simply that without Warhammer, there would be none of these franchises here. So I've got 7 different franchises in front of me. I'm going to pitch my argument for each one of them and the reason why without Warhammer we wouldn't have them. And then obviously in the comments let me know what you think. So we're going to start off with possibly the most obvious one of the 7. And it is Gears of War. Now, this is quite a simple one because they are cogs. They are, and the symbol is used in Space Marine, in Warhammer, sorry. The Adeptus Mechanicus use a cog for their symbol. Also, one of the biggest ones is their armor. So they have like a power armor and the helmet, which looks very much like a Space Marine. They are fighting against an alien enemy, the Locust, which could be very closely put towards orcs. And some of the other monsters that you fight could be very closely placed under the Tyranids. Also, one of the biggest things, and possibly the most sort of consequential thing out of everything, has got to be the weapon. This is the Lancer here, and it has, as you can see, a chainsaw blade. Yes. The chainswords in Warhammer 40K obviously definitely took their these took their inspiration from Warhammer's power chainswords. But yeah, that's why in my opinion Gears of War is very, very, very closely modelled on Warhammer 40K. Doesn't impede anything, it just means that they have good taste. But that is my argument for why Gears of War would not exist if Warhammer 40k didn't exist. That's the first one. That's the easiest one. The second one for me has got to be another really simple one. You may disagree more with this one. It's Fallout. So Fallout is set in a post-apocalyptic world, which closely runs alongside the Warhammer 40k universe, where the world is now a waste, or it's known as Terra. Is a complete and utter wasteland. There's nothing there other than the Emperor's throne. It's gone. It no longer exists. We have moved on with our worlds. The other thing is the Brotherhood of Steel. Now they're the biggest part of this. Now the Brotherhood of Steel are a group of knights. There are knights in Warhammer, and they have squires as well. If you've watched the TV show, if you've played the game, you'll know this. Their squires are recruits, and once they have earned their stripes, they can become fully fledged knights or Brotherhood of Steel. They don power armor and fight with laser rifles, which the sort of like the main weapon for the human, or the Adeptus, not the Adeptus, sorry, the Militarum, is that they use las rifles. So they are shit. It's like a light bulb with a stick, but that's what they use. But it's the whole idea of the knights and the squires. If you look at a lot of the Space Marines, they are covered in sort of knight, sort of medieval, almost Roman kind of things going on. They believe that they are sort of knights that are there to save the human race. Also, we've got super mutants in Fallout, which would be closely placed as the orcs. We've got, who else have we got on here? We've got the Death Claws, which would be closely placed, I would say probably Tyranids. And you've got the Enclave, which are an enemy power unit, which would be closely related to Chaos, or the Chaos Marines, as they are known. Or they're Chaos Legionnaires now. They're not allowed to be called Marines anymore. They changed the name. But yeah, so that's why I think Fallout is very closely linked to Warhammer. You're all seething at the... You're seething at it, aren't you? What do you think? Do you agree with me? No, okay, calm down. Jeez. Well, hear me out. Next one is a really obvious one, and it is Halo. Without Halo, we would have no without Warhammer 40K, we'd have no Halo. What is Master Chief? He is a Space Marine. He is a Spartan. He dons power armor. He weighs an entire metric ton. He is a one-man killing machine, just like the Space Marines in Warhammer. He dons his power armor. He fights against an alien enemy, big, massive ships and all kinds of things. And the biggest influence for this one is something called the Flood. The Flood is a all-destroying viral enemy that just obliterates planets. It just drops down and just wipes out everything. A bit like the Tyranids, don't you think? But yeah, there you go. Halo definitely influenced by the Warhammers. Next up is one definitely with the new one, and this has definitely been compared, is Doom. Doom is definitely based around Warhammer, in my opinion. You have the Doomslayer, or Doom Guy as he used to be known. He has to battle the forces of hell. Chaos is literally demon forces. You are fighting, well, the humans or the Space Marines are fighting against the very demons themselves. They are fighting against all kinds of horrible things, blood letters and all sorts of stuff that comes out of the warp. Also, our good friend Doom Guy is a Space Marine. He is been compared to a Space Marine, and his armor looks very much like a Space Marine, if not a little bit more of a streamlined Space Marine armor. But yeah, there you go. That's my two penneth on Doom. You're sitting there going, you want to detect, but you go, he's got a point. He's got a point. Next up is Red Faction. Red Faction is based on Mars, and it is based around a revolution on Mars. And if you have read the Horus Heresy in the year that went back to 30,000 AD, it was basically based around the Mars itself, the Militarum, the Mechanicum. They fought against each other, so Mars was torn in two. Some were loyalists that wanted to like the Emperor, and some were rebels that wanted to be against him and go with Horus. The entire planet was a massive split, and that is where I think the influence comes from this. It's based on Mars, and you've got the two factions fighting against each other. I've got two more. This is quite a quick video, but I really want you guys to tell me if you agree. Once again, we have Killzone. Killzone was PlayStation's answer to Gears of War. Again, you've got the Helghast. They were banished to Mars, a little bit like the Mechanicum. They came back, a little bit like the Mechanicum, and we had a war. The humans against the Helghast. There's a lot of elements in here. There is a lot of weaponry. There's a lot of battles, and it's very influential with the Warhammer universe. You know, you've got a planet of humans coming back to take revenge on the main planet. So, influenced by Warhammer, in my opinion. The last one, and probably one of the easiest ones for us, is Titanfall. The reason why I picked Titanfall is because Warhammer is not Warhammer unless it has its knights and its titans. Massive, towering behemoths of guns and swords and death and destruction and everything like that. Titanfall, you are a Titan pilot. You get inside the Titan, and then the Titan becomes an extension of yourself. Very much like when the knights are driven or piloted in Warhammer. They are basically fused into the body, and the human shares his responses with the machine itself. He becomes one of them. Especially if you get to like a Reaver class Titan or a War Dog class Titan, just massive freaking things. They are almost fused into it. They are never allowed to really leave. They are barely even human. Most of them that's their intent. They just live inside that machine. So yeah, that is why I think that is majorly influenced by Warhammer 40K as well. And that is it. That's my 7 games that I think have a lot of influence with Warhammer 40K. There's probably more. I want to think about some films as well. But if you agree, happy days. If you don't, then let me know. If you think that they're their own thing, happy days. Not all of them have exclusively come out and told us that they are linked with Warhammer, but they have certainly got a lot of inspiration from that. And Warhammer has such a big, bold inspiration. And remember, Warhammer took a lot of its inspiration from Margaret Thatcher's political era and Dune. So without Dune, there'd be no Warhammer. There you go. Yeah, so answers down the bottom of the comments. If you've loved this video, please give me a like. Please give me a kiss on the cheek and call me Charlie. And it'd be great to have your feedback on these particular these statements that I'm making. See if I've hit the nail on the head. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this video. It's just a quick one. I just wanted to see what you guys thought, but I was thinking about it the other day and I thought, let's see what my subscribers think about that. Thank you very much, guys, and as always, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.